Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Lonesome summer and a wasted spring. Ghosted lovers send me spiraling. Cage Canary, can you still sing? The signal fire had me questioning. Burning rubber and recurring dreams. Fleeting sadness, we all get lonely. Sirens blaring, I'm losing sleep. Aching muscles from grinding teeth. In the morning, listen, hear the birds singing. Smell the coffee brewing. Feel the hurt listening. Somewhere between love and apathy. Shipwrecked, stranded, reasons unknown. Dark hair, darling, where did you go? Your footprints faded, our wooden
What's up, everybody? Another week, another edition of the show. This week, I'm excited to have Blue from the awesome band Best Bear out of the Philly area. To me, as I said, Philly's the new Brooklyn of where bands are coming from. So all goodness that is Philly is pushing out some amazing music and has been for quite some time now. So I'm very excited to not only have Blue on the show, but on May 14th at HiddenTrack performing as well. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Blue.
Hey, thanks for having me, Shane.
It's an absolute pleasure. So why don't we start in simplicities of, if you want to give the Cliff Notes version of how Best Bear kind of became a thing.
Sure. So I've always been I've been writing songs since I was 16, and I then was doing like solo stuff for a long time. But then I found out bands need touring members, and I fell into that. So I've played with this band just filling in on bass, and it ended up being like 3 years, but I missed my solo stuff. So when that band eventually kind of not fell apart, but put a stop for a while, I came back to Philly and I just put out a feelers for some local musicians, and then Best Bear came to be with like the songs I had been writing.
Nice. So, what was it, like Craigslist listings? Because I had last week's. It was like, yeah, I put out a listing on Craigslist for a drummer. I was like, is that still a thing? Like, that was, I didn't know it was still like a way to reach people.
I feel old, but yeah, I did put out a Craigslist listing, but I found most of the original lineup from a Facebook group that was a Philly DIY. It's like a defunct Facebook group now, but a Philly DIY musicians group.
Hopefully it's defunct because everyone ended up in awesome bands like you did.
I don't know. I think the main moderator just was like, nah, I'm not doing this anymore.
No one wanted me in a band, so I'm shutting it down.
He's like, I'm out.
I'm done with this. Well, let's get into some personal things with you and personal musical journeys. As it doesn't happen for everyone. For me, I was 6 years old and my music journey began because of one simple moment of hearing the Beach Boys. What
Nice.
was your kind of growing up like, and did you grow up in a musical household? Can you pinpoint like that kind of moment as a child where all of a sudden music just like became like clicked and you're like, I want to hear more?
I mean, my parents were a little bit like torturous with music, so I like to sleep in, and I still do. But my parents, like, they would just turn on the lights and start blasting the Carpenters or like Celine Dion. And I'm like, what is this? It was like the same song every day. I'm like, it was a lot. But my mom is a singer. She was never like a professional singer. She did like some wedding bands and some stuff in high school. But there's always like an acoustic guitar around, and she used to come to like my elementary school, which feels crazy now, but like kind of like a talent show. She would come in and like sing to my classroom for
Was
many years.
An adult like talent show for children? Like
She just came in to entertain us for like an hour.
She's like Susan Day of the Partridge Family, just go in and sit down in the classroom and play songs and be like, all right, bye kids.
Yeah, she came in and like everyone thought it was cool, and then eventually like it became not cool. And I remember that weird turn of like your mom, like that's your mom, that's so weird, like kind of energy, mean kid energy. But
I mean, I understand that. My mom was at one point like she was in like a substitute lunch lady. So like when I was in grammar school, and I would hate when I would walk in and I'd see her. I'd be like, oh no.
Mm-hmm. It's sad. Like, I would love if my mom was still doing that now, you know? But I'd say that I did like choir in school too. And that was like my first foray into like, you know, not choir music, but like, like I like just being around music and singing and like understanding what I'm looking at.
Did you have something like as a kid that you would be running around like in the living room singing, or was it things that you learned at school, or was there like, you know, some kids at Michael Jackson, Madonna, Nirvana, like there was something that kids would just run around and start singing and bopping their heads to?
I think there's two moments. One, for whatever reason, the Titanic movie was just like always around, always on. I
Well, you
think
mentioned Celine Dion
VHS.
earlier.
I
So,
know. There was a lot of that. So I had a tape cassette, I think, of My Heart Will Go On from the Titanic movie. And it had the lyrics in the tape cassette. And I remember like I memorized the lyrics and then my mom would try and like force me to sing it in like a family gathering. And I wouldn't. I was too shy. But that's what I would run around the house singing. But then I got the Backstreet Boys Millennium CD.
oh, there it
That's my
is.
first CD that did
Nice.
it.
That was your first CD ever?
Yep, that was the
Nice.
first one.
Now, to the point of, okay, let's get away from the Celine Dion and Backstreet. Well,
Yes.
we don't have to get away from
Let's
like
run away.
NSYNC and Backstreet. We can, stay there too at some point. But what was kind of like your gateway artist or band into finding like that was going to kind of mold you during your formative years as like, middle school and going into high school? What was your like gateway band?
I think there was a mix of bands that were like really prevalent in my friend groups, but I mean, I fell in love with Nirvana and Green Day, and I really loved Metallica and Iron Maiden and
Nice.
just like all these heavier bands. My brother was really into Black Sabbath, and so like the two of us were just like he had all these tape cassettes, and we were just like passing them back and forth. But yeah, that like kind of like Hot Topic scene. Like I felt like before that, like I wasn't the listen to Black Sabbath T-shirt person, but I was listening to Black Sabbath in high school. But yeah, just something about hearing that heavier music that my parents hated, and I was just like, this is kind of where it's at. And I wanted an electric guitar. I wanted to do it all.
Now, were they okay with that? Were they like, hey, yeah, you don't have to use mom's acoustic guitar. Like, if you really want to do it, we'll support you. Or was it like, no, not yet?
It's kind of a weird mix. So like, my parents split up when I was like maybe like 12-ish, but my dad's always been very supportive of my music, and he's been like kind of the person who like he bought me an electric guitar off eBay. That was like my first electric guitar, and like kind of whatever I wanted. We went to like a Sam Ash, and like he was just happy I was doing something, and my mom and my stepdad were supportive, but they were more focused on me doing school stuff, and they didn't like hearing me spending hours and hours playing guitar instead of homework. So it's kind of like I had to hide it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, look, now you can tell them you made it. You're on this really cool podcast. And look,
That's right.
Yeah. Look at all that hard work that you didn't want me to do.
Mhm.
So when you started doing that and you start learning guitar and doing things like that, there's always, for me as a kid anyway, and I really think it happens to everybody. Some people like to keep it to themselves and stay in their room and like are shy and bashful about what they're doing. But a lot of people like to rush out and find other people trying to do something similar. And it leads to this point of trying to create your very first band.
Mhm.
Did you have that moment? And the most important part of that question will be, and what was that name of that very first band you tried to create?
I did have that moment. It kind of started where I joined a band looking for a singer. This was like right after high school, I think. But my friends were still in high school, so like the sophomores, and I just graduated. But yeah, and then they were like, "Do you have any songs?" Like, because they were kind of playing covers of like Breaking Benjamin and like some interesting heavier stuff. And then I had all these like kind of folk pop songs that they wanted to turn into this heavier stuff. So I was like, okay, like sure. But the name took a few changes, but it started off as Firethorn Lane because that's where the drummer lived on Firethorn Lane. And then when he left the band, we changed the name because it felt wrong. So we were playing for keeps.
Okay.
With a 4, the number 4.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, big change there. But listen, it's not a horrible first name of a band. I mean, it doesn't rank in our top 10 here after 300 episodes of being horrible first band names. But I'm always very interested to see where the first band name comes from, and the fact that you gave me that it was the person in the band's where they lived. That's great. It's almost like the porn name, your street you live on. And
that was Josh's.
Nice. Now, how old were you, and kind of do you remember your first ever time performing in front of like complete strangers, like where it's not,
Hmm.
family where mom's trying to make you sing Celine Dion tunes, but like you're out and about and you just see tons of people that you've never seen their faces before. Do you remember when that was, where it was, and how you felt?
I want to say when I first figured out what an open mic was. So I didn't know that was a thing, but like there was a coffee shop my friend told me to come to in South Jersey. Coffee Works too. And it became like like a ton of people were there, and I still am friends with some of these people to this day. But that was my first time going up on stage, and I was like so beyond nervous, like to strangers. And I was doing a cover of Rihanna's Umbrella, and I forgot the words. So like I played an original and then the cover, and then I forgot the words. I was so embarrassed that I like unplugged and literally ran off stage and cried in the parking lot. But I came back. I went back and I redeemed myself over and over again. But that was the first time.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, I'm sorry that you cried, but I'm also
Thank you.
happy that you got back on that horse and
Yeah.
said, fuck it, I just won't do it. Did you redeem yourself by doing Umbrella and remembering the words, or did you just do something completely different?
I think I just did something else because it was surprisingly hard to sing like that Ella Ella like over and over. Like I kept losing my breath. I wasn't a vocalist then. Like I figured it out, but that was
Nice.
hard at the time.
Now, from your first live performance to the first concert you ever went to as a child, and then after that, the first one you got to pick to go to on your own, if it was different than
Mhm.
the first concert you ever went to.
I think the one I didn't pick, but I enjoyed, it was a Beatles tribute concert, like an outdoor free concert. But it was like Beatle Mania or something. That was cool. That was my first time seeing like I don't know, like a ton of people just enjoying like lawn seats and watching this band play forever. Um, but I also, for a long time, my favorite band was the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and not so much anymore. But I don't know why I just really hyper focused on them. Um, but I actually got to go see them, and I remember crying when Anthony Kiedis came on stage. I was like the Wells Fargo Center. Now it's like super cringe, but like at the time, I think there was a contact high situation, like just clouds of smoke. For me,
Yeah, I'll
yeah.
I'll refrain from
Thank
my
you.
comments on Red Hot Chili Peppers, but
Mhm. It's hard to be vulnerable.
yeah, I understand that. And my
It's my
thing is that
secret.
when it comes to the Chili Peppers, I rarely have anything nice to say except for the
Yeah.
fact that Chad Smith is one of my favorite drummers. But other than that, like nothing is redeeming for me, which is hard. But
Yeah.
like every time I have to order Red Hot Chili Pepper records for the store, like I cringe a little. I'm like, man, I'm really losing some of my cred here because I have to have it because other people want it, but I don't want to
Yeah.
hear.
Now I know too much about them and I don't like them. So
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard separating the art from the artist. And even the art from the the artist from the artist. I don't know.
Now, when you just gave us a look behind of forgetting the lyrics to something and running off stage and going outside and crying, Ben, I'm glad you're past that. But in your performing life so far, is there a performance, and don't worry, it'll be a two-parter, so I'm looking
Okay.
for the bad and then we'll end with the good, but like a performance that stands out to you, kind of occupies this little cortex portion of your brain that even if something goes wrong now on stage, you're like, well, at least it wasn't that fucking performance.
Oof. Gosh. I honestly don't know how many shows I've played now, but there's been so many times I've forgotten the words, and like I guess there's been a few times where I've forgotten the words and just stopped the song halfway through. I'm like, and it just caused like a whole thing. It's just embarrassing, but I'm like, I'm not gonna just keep messing up this song that I don't know enough right now. So I think that happened at Mr. Rubato's in Pittsburgh just last year. Forgot the words to a song, skipped it, and then all of a sudden the power went out like midway through the next song, and everyone's just staring at us. and someone just happened to lean on the power switch in the garage or something. Like, I don't know. It was just a weird set. And I'm like, let's not do that again. I don't know.
Someone
Not
flipped
the
the light
venue's
switch in
fault.
the bathroom and it shuts down power to the whole place type of thing.
They had some like alley for the bands to bring their gear from the back parking lot, but there were some people back there and somebody leaned on it. I'm like, why is that connected to the whole building's like
Yeah.
power? That's crazy.
So it went from bad to worse. So
Yeah.
okay. So
was
that's
already-
yeah, that's a good one. Now I want like the best one. The one that like you always in your mind you're like, man, I don't know if it's gonna get any better than that.
I think it was last year too, not too long after that show. We got asked to be one of the like headlining bands at Philly Pride last year. Just kind of like I applied and I wasn't expecting anything, and then they picked us, and I was like, okay, let's go. But that was the most people I've ever played to. It was probably like, I don't know, 3,000 people or something crazy. They shut down all of the like center city, and we're on this main stage, platform thing, and I'm just running around like an idiot. I'm like, this is amazing. I would love to play to this many people all the time.
Yeah,
All these
wouldn't
gay
everybody?
people. It was great.
Now going from that, I mean, you have a moment like that, right? And there's like 3,000 people, and then maybe your next show is, and I'm not trying to slight anything here, but maybe the next time you play, it's like 50 people. Like, is there? Do you get discouraged in any way going from like a high to, listen, 50 people is still great, but at the same time, it's like I just did that, and now I'm doing this. Do you get discouraged in any way, or are you just like, hey, listen, that was a moment. Now we're going on to this next thing?
It's definitely hard. And I knew, like, I'm not super delusional where I wasn't ever expecting to, like, okay, now all our shows are going to be this. This is my life now.
Yeah. From now on, we're at the Fillmore. We're,
Nothing less.
Yeah.
We didn't even, like, earn that audience. Like, it felt like we were just so lucky at the timing and the placement and just to be there. But we literally played a show probably the next weekend to maybe 15 people. And it was a 3-band bill. And 2 people came from Pride, and they were like in the front row of this small like DIY space. I'm like, okay, like it's still great to play to people, but it definitely is hard to like mentally accept what's happening.
Yeah, but
like,
you glossed over the moment. Like 2 people that saw you from the Pride like came to that show, so like that's a great thing. Like you got 2 new fans from doing something like that, and that's one of my biggest goals here is to just get you 1 new fan, right? And so by doing that, like, yeah, okay, there's not that many people here, but here's 2 people that I remember from what we played that are now here. That's awesome. So like that's a huge thing that sometimes I think will get lost on people, where it's like you could be disappointed, but like I'm one of the people that I'm just always going to try to push positivity when it comes to stuff. Like that's more important than the other amount of people that are in the room, because, well, we proved we can gain new people to come out and see us. So
yeah, I like that.
Thanks.
It's hard to, it's always good to find the positive of these things. I think a lot of musicians can be a little pessimistic, and I really try to shake it off, but it's infectious sometimes.
Yeah, just stick with me, kid, and I'll keep lifting you up. That's all I try to do. So you said the first CD was that Backstreet Boys, but was that was that a gift, or what was the first thing you ever purchased for yourself?
Honestly, I think I did buy that. But the next CD I bought for myself was a Red Hot Chili Peppers CD. So we can just skip on that.
Yeah, let's next question mark for edit. I'm just get that.
And it was the greatest hit CD. Like, what was I doing?
Wow. I mean, they have one of those?
They do. Oh. It's like a gray cover with a little mouth on it. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, I mean, maybe call them hits. I wouldn't maybe call them greatest hits, but man, I'm just can't stop.
I'm upset I even brought this up, but it's my history.
Hey, listen, I'm sorry. I apologize to you now because it's like a trigger for me, because I just don't like a lot of things that I don't like. I still understand it and I get it. And
Mhm.
like, I get why people are so like in love with certain bands or artists. Like I'll sit here and be like, I get it. It's just not for me. And the Red Hot
Mhm.
Chili Peppers are just not for me. And I
Yeah.
don't get it. So someone's like, maybe you haven't
Yeah.
spent enough time with them. I'm like, I grew up in the fucking 80s and 90s. I spent more time than anyone should have to with them. So,
Mhm.
oh, sorry about that. I went off a little area there. All right. So how about 3 albums in your life that are just like that mean the most to you in your life? Like, are there 3 albums that mean the most to you in your life that you're just always like, yeah, these are the ones I'll always count?
Dang. I mean, I love Adrienne Lenker, and her album with Buck Meek A-Sides is like top tier in my brain. Trying to think. This is the band Now Now. Their record Threads. I love their singer, Casey. I'm trying to think like a heavier record that I love, but I mean, nothing beats Nirvana's Nevermind for like how many times I've listened to an album, probably. But yeah, that might be my 3.
Okay. I'll accept those answers. I'm
Yeah.
glad you did not say Red Hot Chili Peppers Greatest Hits.
I know. They've escaped.
All right. When it comes to Best Bear, and if you meet a complete total stranger, they've never heard your music before, and maybe I'll put it, you're sitting in front of Clive Davis, and he says, you got 2.5 minutes, play me a song. What song are you playing?
Probably our song Bare Minimum.
These scars all over me, where your
That's probably my favorite song I've written. And it's nothing super like crazy happening, but just the lyrics just kind of feel really real and like unfortunately relatable to like a lot of my friends. So I don't know. That might be the one.
Okay. So, and that's your favorite song you've ever written and released to date?
Yeah.
Is it your favorite song to perform live, or do you have like a different song that like when you put it on the set list, you're like, I can't wait till we get to that song?
There's a song called We Were Married, and that's probably just like our more like faster song, and there's more like instrumental breaks so I can run around the stage versus having to like sing the whole time, which I wasn't writing these songs with that in mind, and now looking forward I'm trying to do that because it's hard to like move when you have to sing the whole thing. But that song I love when it comes up because it's just faster and like I get to yell and be angry for a minute.
Nice. I'm going to give you a little. There's not going to be a lot of room to run around on our stage when you play that, but I mean, it is a stage. It's very nice, but there's not a lot of room to run around. So maybe you can just like pogo.
I have a plan.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but I have it.
You'll figure it out once you get there.
Yeah.
Front flip off the stage.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
I brought my treadmill. I'm still running. You know.
So, now you have me getting ready to play the joke of just having the in place treadmill right in front of the microphone. So now let's go to a special day in one's life, and I don't know, maybe it has happened to you, maybe it hasn't, because I have had one person so far that hasn't ever gotten their driver's license, but I call it the day of freedom, and the day you get your driver's license and you get to just put what you want to listen to in that car and drive. Do you remember what you were listening to that day, that first solo free ride in the car?
Dang. I don't even think my car at the time had a CD player, but
cassette player. I don't know.
Honestly, my brother made me a good mixtape. And it's just I remember like I think the song's called Lola, the Kinks.
Okay.
I think that was the first song on there. Just a lot of David Bowie. I just remember it was a good vibe. That was my tape. I just would leave it in the car.
Did he name the mixtape?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think he even wrote anything on it.
I was notorious for like naming my mixtapes. Like I thought I was cool. I was like, hey, version 2 of Murph's Greatest Hits. And I'm just like, man, why am I doing this to myself and handing them, hey guys, you should listen to this. And people are like, dude, you're nuts. Because it was all underground, like punk rock, and like as emo was starting to become a thing in the mid 90s. And I was just like, hey, you guys should listen to this. And I would name it just like, my favorite songs to break up to. And like, yeah, I was a nerd.
You'd probably be good at Spotify playlisting names.
Well, I am. So I've actually been hired by people to put together playlists that have like the artists. So like I did a woman's 40th birthday party. It was like husband told me, hey, she likes these. I was like, hey, give me 10 artists that she likes, and I'll put together this playlist on Spotify, and I'll also throw in things just like it, of songs maybe she does know or doesn't know, but in a way it's just going to make it more fun, because a lot of times you're going to be at parties, people are going to be talking, so when the song comes on that you do know, you get excited, and other ones that are on, you may find something you like. And so yeah, I've done that before for people. So yeah,
special skill.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like everything I do in my life is music.
Yeah.
Which it is. And I find myself today at the doctor. I had to go for, this is so stupid, why am I turning it into me? But I have a back issue, and he's like, so what do you do? I was like, well, I own a record store, a music venue, a record label, and a podcast. And he's like, do you do anything outside of music? I was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
So
that rocks. I
yeah.
mean, I'm similar. Yeah.
But it's what I love. I mean, and as I tell, not many people get to do what they love for a living.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky and blessed.
Sounds like a great life you've curated over there.
Yeah. It's, as I call it, it's my semi-retirement, as I'm reaching the elder age of 50. And in like, I'm kind of semi-retired, but I've never worked harder in my life. So it's nice.
Yeah.
All right. Band in your life that never lets you down. The constant. Whenever you need something, you turn to them whether it's an artist or a band, just that thing that never lets you down.
I really, really, really want to say Courtney Barnett, but there was one record that let me down. But everything else, everything else is so good, and I can always rely on. There's so many other records.
Have you ever gone back to that record and tried again, or because maybe when you first heard it, or are you at the point where, man, I've tried way too many times and I don't know if I can do it again?
I've tried, but I'm usually distracted at work or something. So I think it'd be fair to give it a dedicated listen, like on a drive or like just me in my room or something, not multitasking. That could be it.
Okay.
We'll see. It got released, so there's a lot of planning, It's gotta have her newest record's like my favorite thing. I can't stop listening to it. But I love her.
All right. What band did you listen to that you initially just were like, no, I'm totally out, and maybe years later came back to and was like, wow, I was stupid, and now like they're a constant in your life?
Interesting. I'm kind of not a jerk, but like sometimes when I just don't like something, I don't go back. So that's I can't even think of one.
Really? Like there's no, wow.
Well, like what have I gone back to you? I'm sure I have. Nothing's really coming to the noggin.
Wow, that's either a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not sure which.
I don't know.
Though.
Yeah. I'm starting to think I'm black or white. Like, that's it. You get one shot.
Hey, listen, I made the mistake. Yeah, I made the mistake before. One of my favorite bands, basically, I had two favorite bands, but like it was their new album came out. It was like their third album, their third release. I rushed to the store to buy it on CD. Driving back to base, and like by the fifth song, I literally took the CD out of my CD player and threw it out on I-95.
Dang.
And then I went back years later, and I was like, I was an asshole. I wish I had that CD back. But
I did just think of one as you said that.
Go.
Not that I didn't like it when I first heard it, but it didn't pull me in at all. But Pine Grove really snuck up on me, like in a real, like big way. And I probably heard them for years before actually like giving them a second of to like watch their audio tree, listen to a record in full. I was like, damn, that's a songwriter right there. That's another band I'm frustrated with, but their music is just so good.
Yeah. And that makes total sense. I think there's a lot of people, and because they're literally from like 20 minutes away from here. So they're kind of
Montclair.
Yeah, they were kind of huge in the area. So it was like everybody was all about them. And I was just like, when I first heard it, I'm like, it is really good. And I would try to like get it to other people, and they're like, yeah, no. Yeah. And then like it would be funny. And then a couple of years later, someone who I know I showed it to and I made listen to it will come up and be like, dude, did you ever hear that band Pine Grove? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like are we seriously having this like, you don't remember me playing you the entire record being like, I think you'd like this. And they're like, nope. I was like, all right, then I'm an idiot. But yeah, it makes sense with them, because I do think they are, especially because the songwriting is deep and the sound is different. It's kind of one of those things that you kind of have to let sink in for a little bit.
Yeah. And they put out back-to-back records that killed me. I was like, oh man.
All right. Most overrated band of all time. This is your time to throw shade, and don't be afraid of it. Most overrated band of all time in your opinion.
Dang. Overrated. I just was never real big on the Rolling Stones. It's not for me. There's a lot of rock and roll there. It just isn't.
That's a shot to the heart here.
Sorry to say it, but I also haven't given them their day in the sun in my headphones for like actual listening. It's just they've always been on the radio, like assaulting my ears. So I don't know.
I understand. And so if I were to ever make, if I were to say, if you want to really try to like take the time, get into the Rolling Stones, there's only one album. It's my Desert Island album, and it's cheating because it's a double album. But Rolling Stones Hot Rocks, 1964 to 1971, their hits from that era. If you listen to that and don't get blinded by the bullshit that came out after 1971 all the way up until now, that it's like it's perfectly sequenced. The songs are in perfect order. It makes for a perfect like way to listen to something, and it's like there's everything there for you. There's there's ballads, there's rock songs, and it's just like I think that's a thing that will get somebody to be like, oh, okay, I kind of get it now.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
because it was a shot to the heart. But it's because Hot Rock's really it is. It's my Desert Island album.
I don't think I've heard that one, so that might be. It's worth a listen.
Yeah,
I'll listen.
Now I know what I'm going to play in between your sets at the
whole time.
Yeah. All right. Well, how about the most underrated band? Now, it can be a band that is like, they're still kind of known, but you think they're severely underrated for who and what they do.
I think they're on the rise, but Sweet Pill from Philly is just like so good. They're just like, their guitarist Jace is like probably like up there Adrian Lenker style, like in my brain, but like for emo twinkly like math rock.
Yeah, but he's also in like a metal band too, right? I think.
Harmicist.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them play for so long. I saw them once. I don't know if they're still playing, but he could. Yeah, I feel like he could just play any style and kill it.
Yeah.
But just everyone in that band's so good, and the songs are like, I don't know. I love Zaynet's vocals. Everything about it. I have their tapestry in my room. I just like stare at it all day. I'm like,
nice.
Man, this band needs just to like get even bigger.
I who did they open for? Oh, it was Sweet Pill, Teenage Halloween, and Well Wisher. I was there.
I love Well Wisher.
Yeah, I was there for Natalie. It was her record release show. Very nice to get invited to it, and then I was very surprised that like Sweet Pill was the opener. I was like,
that is crazy. Yeah.
I was like, I go, wow, and no offense to like Teenage Halloween either, but I was just like, wow, I really, because at that time too, I was considering them very underrated. And this is like 3 years ago. I was like, these guys are gonna fucking kill at some point. Like, it's amazing to me that they're here to play a 20-minute set and like open the show. I was like, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm playing with Natalie's new name project, Gazi, later in our tour, but I'm really excited to see them again.
Nice. All right, how about a band that is overrated for the songs that are popular and underrated for everything else they've created?
Overrated for what's popular.
Like, so I know it's a hard thing to think about, so I'll give you how I came up with this. For me, like Third Eye Blind was overrated and underrated because the songs that were hits on the radio, I think, are the worst fucking songs they ever created. But all the other stuff on our album is just fucking killer. Like, it's so good. And I'm like, I understand why they picked these certain things to be the ones that people could sing to, but everything else they've done is just fucking absolutely amazing. And like, I don't like this stuff that was popular.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing that came to mind is kind of random, but like, I really liked Fall Out Boy for so long. And I don't like any of their like hit songs really, other than like Sugar, We're Going Out Swinging. But I loved, they had this like acoustic EP kind of situation that, I don't know, I forget what it's called. It's going to drive me crazy, but all the songs on that EP, like I was just like, oh, I want to put this on playlists forever. And I've never heard them on the radio or anywhere, even on playlists online. I'm like, it's always the polished version of those songs. But
stripped down demo session stuff.
Yeah. Messing up even. It was like, I love those little imperfections in live recordings.
Well, I think that's what's missing too nowadays. Like, I love, I go back to like, it'll lead into our next question, but like Perfect 10 albums, like I'll go with, I tell people, I'm like, for me, it like starts with Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. Cause I'm like, the song that they wanted to leave off is my favorite song on the album, the very last song. And the fact that they recorded the entire album live is,
oh my God,
like, it's unbelievable. And on analog. Like, so it's like, so you can hear the imperfections. And to me, that's what makes it a perfect album, because there's such great songs. And at the same time, you can hear some of the fuck ups in it. And I'm like, that's to me perfect. And they're all in the same room recording live. Like that. It just blows me away when it comes to stuff like that. So for you, do you have a perfect 10 album or a couple perfect 10 albums that you think are just like from first to last, like they are completely unskippable?
I loved Caroline Rose's Loner. That record, like I over listened to that for sure. Um I'm a fan of all the people in Boy Genius, but I really loved the record. I'm one of those. And Puberty 2 by Mitski is like incredible. Um I mean, A-Sides by Adrian Linker again, like that. I'll listen to that. No skips at all. Those are probably my main no skips.
Okay, nice. All right. Has there ever in your life been an opportunity to see a band that you really wanted to see, but you decided not to, and unfortunately now you'll never be able to get to see them because they're no
Dang.
longer non-exist?
I mean, there was a moment I could have seen David Bowie, and that'll always bother me and my brother that we didn't just get our shit together and get out of work and like go. Um, that is a
That's
bummer.
tough. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a tough one. That's oof. Yeah.
yeah. That's they can't really. There's no real coming back from that one.
How about an
Mm.
artist that you have yet to see live that you're looking forward to the most, that like you are definitely not going to miss them the next time they come around, that you've never seen before?
Hmm. I mean, I'm bummed. This tour is still happening, but the Hayley Williams tour right now. Um, I am upset. I also didn't get my shit together to go. But it just the whole. I love her newest record, and I am like debating figuring a way to go see her in a different city because I think I was just being stubborn about like how tired I was, and I have enough connections in Philly that I could have went, but I work at a coffee shop super early and like right in the middle of my weekend. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm too old. I'm almost 40. So I'm like getting to the point of like, ah,
Listen, let me give you some advice from someone who's older.
please.
You're
Please help me.
never too old to not get up and go do your job, right? Like if there's something you feel you need in your life and it's going to make you feel a little bit better for the moment you're doing it, go do it, because tomorrow's not promised. So like if you're awake and you're around and you can go do it now, because tomorrow may not come. So like that's how I live. Like someone's like, hey, you want to go do this? Yes, let's go. Like as long as I don't have something already scheduled, yeah, let's go do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't you got to work the next? Listen, being tired is fine. Like I'll push through it. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, let's go do something that's going to make me happy for a little bit. So
I get on your level.
yeah, just a little bit of advice, but next time.
I used to that constantly was me, I think, for a long time, and then I burnt the heck out. But now I'm like in this middle, like mental health, prioritizing my mental health. But at the same time, it's like I need some of that as well. I need to mix what you're saying and not passing out.
You'll find it. You'll find it.
I'll find it. Yeah.
All right. What album do you think everyone in their lifetime should hear at least once?
I think Courtney Barnett's sometimes I have the worst memory. Sometimes I'm sitting, sometimes I'm standing. Something. Dang, what is that album called? I'm gonna look it up.
I think you had it.
I was pretty close. It's just okay, I got it. It's coming. Everybody hang on. We're so close. I'm so good at looking at things. Okay. Sometimes I sit and think, and sometimes I just sit.
That is correct.
The chair on the cover made me think. Sometimes I'm sitting, sometimes I'm standing.
That's right. People would find it. You give enough information, people will find it. Nice. All right. How about something you listen to and get tons of enjoyment out of listening to, that people would be really surprised that you get tons of enjoyment out of listening to it? The guilty pleasure, as it's called. But
I do love a lot of like pop music. I think Sabrina Carpenter's recent album I did listen to a lot. And I'll put that on at like I work at a coffee shop, so I'll put that on at the cafe. And we even got or Taylor Swift. Sometimes I'll put on just because I know a lot of the songs, and like we got a negative review on Google saying that like, I don't know, something
Your
about they're
playlist was
blasting Taylor Swift and the pastries are this much money, and I
yeah. They
just
were
thought
more
it was so
pissed.
funny.
Yeah, they were more pissed off about the price of pastries.
Mhm.
The Taylor Swift are just adding to it.
Yeah, that was the final
Yeah.
thing happening. Uh,
All right. Do you have a time machine song? Like the song that when it comes on, it automatically transports you back to that place where you can smell the smells, see the sights. You just like can feel the wind blowing through your hair again. Like, do you have a time machine song that anytime it comes on, it's just an automatic reverted right back to where you were?
I think when I heard Mitski's Fireworks for the first time, or Firework, that song, I had just started running for the first time, and there's a line in that song about running, and I was running while I was listening to it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like synchronicity all at once. I remember like it just rained, just like I just kind of moved back to Philly, and I was figuring out even where I live, and it's just like a really nice like new beginning feeling, like all at once I'm in the right place moment. So when I hear that song, I picture exactly where I was. I'm like, okay, we're
Nice.
back.
All right, we're gonna bring this down with some horribleness with questions here. We
Okay.
just the tone comes down a little bit. So the first question with the tone coming down in the show is 5 minutes left to live, meteors hurling into the earth, and you have to listen to one song and one song only. What song are you listening to?
Wow. These are hard questions. Maybe Certainty by Big Thief. I might be blasting that one.
Nice. All right. The next horrible question. Houses burning to the ground,
Oh my
unfortunately.
god.
All living things are out. All creatures, goldfish, everything alike is out safely. You have a minute to run back in and grab one musical item, musical thing that means the most to you. What's the one thing you're running back in for and grabbing?
I'm getting my guitar. I've had the same Martin Custom X series guitar since I started troubadouring, and somehow it's still with me. So I'm gonna get that first.
All right. Nice. All right, that was the solemn. But do you have
Yeah.
any other piece of music, like memorabilia or something, not an instrument that like means the most to you, like a poster or a T-shirt or a record or something that is just like, I ask because I sit here and I stare at in my studio all the things staring at me that mean the most to me. That it would be really hard pressed to pick just one, but like the one thing you would grab other than your guitar.
It's tough because I feel like I've lost a lot in my life where like a lot of things I used to be really sentimental about. I've already had to kind of grieve. My entire CD collection got like taken away, and like all my cassettes I had when I was growing up, they're just gone. And I have all these vinyls, but I haven't even got to listen to them. I don't have a record player. It's like all these things. I'm like, it's made me a little wary to like get close to these items.
Yeah.
So I wish I had more of a tie to them, but I haven't let myself like think I'm gonna have these things forever anymore.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually could be a good thing. I I unfortunately am, as my wife puts it, I'm an organized hoarder of things that I love, a
Just get
collector
organized.
sometimes. Yeah, but it's like I love these things so much, and sometimes she's like, you're kind of too attached to a lot of this stuff. I'm like, but it means so much to me because I can pinpoint and pull out a CD and tell you where I was when I got it. I can go through and be like, I remember the first time I heard this song. I remember who got me this. I remember where this, the concert that this poster was from. Like, these ticket stubs that I love showing off to people. Like, yeah, I was at this show in 1992 with fucking Seaweed, Green Day, and Bad Religion. Like, and I did all these things, and they mean the most to me because it only means the most to me. But I probably shouldn't be attached to fucking everything. So I need to learn from you now.
There we go. I finally could teach you something. I'll lighten up and you will loosen your grip on things.
Yeah. There, we got to balance each other out. All right. So, last question before we move into our final segment. Considering I own a music store, record store. What was
Yeah.
the last album that you bought?
Ooh. What's the last album I bought? I snag a lot of my friends like merch. I saw this band called Myriads in Portland, I want to say, and I got their cassette tape. I think it's just self-titled, but their music's so good. That's the last thing I bought, I think.
All right, cool. At least you bought something, so that's what matters most to me. All right, so before we move into our final segment, Blue, I'd love for you to just take some time right now and let everyone know how they can keep up with what you're doing, how they can find you guys, how they can support you, how they can, go see you guys live and stuff like that. Like basically all your handles and bullshit that we all have to have nowadays.
Gotcha. I tried to keep it simple when I started the band. I knew this would be a thing. So I tried to get every handle at Best Fair Music. And I think for the most part, I was successful. But we're on TikTok, Instagram, most of the things. We are going on tour soon. We got asked to play at Pousa Fest in Montreal this year.
Nice.
So I booked some shows to get up and back. Wednesday, May 13th at Rainbow Records in Newark, Delaware. Thursday, May 14th at Hidden Tracks in Newton, New Jersey. Then the 16th is our performance at Pousa Fest. We're at Theater St. Theater St. Catherine's around 9 p.m. And then I'm playing at Hive Cafe in Philadelphia solo on the 21st of May. Then 2 more shows. We're in Reading on the 22nd. So DIY spot, you could just DM us and I'll get you the deets. And our Philly hometown show, my friend Maz runs Get Well Booking. He's presenting at Spellbound Studios with Lower Coaster, Dino Gala, and Gazzy. And that should be a really fun one.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing you. I can't wait to have you guys perform. I know we got a lot of people coming out for that. We hope more people show up for it as well. But I'm excited to have you guys grace our stage soon. So
it's gonna be great. I'm excited.
Well, we are in our final segment. Our final segment of the show is our weekly threes. It's 3 things you're listening to that you would like people to check out. So you'll give 3 things, then I give my 3.
Sure. The new Courtney Barnett record, I can't stop listening to. The Haley Williams record that came out, listening to that. And the new Sweet Pill record that came out this year. Those are my top 3 spins.
Nice. Awesome. Good 3. My 3 for this week. My first one is Box Elder, self-titled album, pop punkish emo band from Salt Lake City, which will also be gracing our stage towards the end of May. Next is an artist that goes by the name Dr. Bionic. Name of the album Cactus Snake Part 2. It's like deep soul funk jazz from Ohio. And last but not least is something that was shown to me. I'm huge on finding old, really old, like rock and metal that had no business being around at a certain time. And the name of this band is called Buffalo. The name of the album is Volcanic Rock. They were like Australian metal dune gaze from 1973. So like really like the sound had no business being around, and it's actually really fucking good. But those are my 3 for this.
Yeah. I know Box Elder. I was trying to book a show with them in Philly in it. We couldn't get the date lined up, but excited to play with them at some point too.
Awesome. They're great. I'm excited to have them coming soon. So, but Blue, I want to say thank you so much for just taking some time out of your day, letting people behind the curtain that is you and learn a little bit about you. Thank you so much for creating the music that brought us together. That's to me special and important. What you do matters, no matter who tells you or not. Keep going, keep doing what you're doing, keep writing songs, keep creating music. It's important for you to put it out in the world, and we're lucky enough that you have so far and continue to do so. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Shay. That's so nice. Thank you for having me on this wonderful podcast also.
Well,
And for running a record shop, and a performance space, 2 things that we need more of in the world, and cool people running them. So appreciate you for that as well.
thank you. You already have a slot to play. You don't have to kiss up anymore. But no. But
And you're
seriously,
great today.
no.
Okay.
Thank you for the
You
kind
sound
words. Yeah, thank you for. It's hard for me to take any sort of compliment. So, but thank you for that. And everybody else out there in the world, you know what time it is now. It's time to go out, listen to Best Bear, and have a great fucking time.
Where the calm of the storm I was living in. When you left, I lost everything. I held on tight, stood my ground. But you were out of sight with a new love.
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions to myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.